Hey, it's 1 o'clock. I'm Colette Linden.
I'm Dani Dupuis. Welcome to the special report.
We've got a few things going on today.
Oh my God, we have so much going on today.
First announcement, Friday is pajama day.
Yes.
We've decided deem Friday as pajama day, so we will be wearing our favorite pajamas. Mine will be a one-piece Toronto Maple Leafs onesie, and I can't wait to wear it.
I
wonder what Chris is going to wear on PJ Day. What are you going to wear on PJ Day, Chris?
Normally I wear suits to bed.
Oh.
Yeah. I do sometimes loosen the tie though.
So you wake up
It's easier to
prepared.
sleep.
That's
yeah,
what
I just hop right out of bed and go right down to the car, and I'm here in 5 minutes. It's great.
I feel like he's Barney from How I Met Your Mother. But
yes, thank you. I couldn't figure it out.
Okay, Barney, what's your update right now?
Thank you. This morning I mentioned some numbers that would be coming in from the Bank of Canada today. I have those numbers. I also have the numbers for Algoma region for COVID-19. Luckily, we don't have any new cases. We're still at 10, but I'll be covering that in a couple of minutes.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
We are going to talk about this awesome new initiative that we have going on called the Algoma Marketplace.
Yes.
And it's an initiative created with Sue Online and a couple of captive studios.
We got Chamber of Commerce
Chamber
involved.
of Commerce, Giovanni's Restaurant, Fratelli's, Burger Don. If you go to
Little Caesars.
Little Caesars.
Oh, beautiful. It's up on the screen too now.
There you go. Perfect. Thanks, Mike. Look at that. So support local, shop local. You can't ask for anything better than that. So go to shop.sueonline.com and you are going to see all the different vendors. So what we're trying to do is keep your business alive during this difficult time. We are actually going to cut to the Premier right now. We'll be back with more about the marketplace.
Well, good afternoon. We're in a fight of our lives right now. In the fight against this virus is the test that will define our generation. It's the test that will define us as a people and as a province. And when they look back on this, when the history books are written, we'll be judged on how we looked out for each other, but even more importantly, we'll be judged on who we looked out after and who could not look after themselves. And we owe it to our most vulnerable. We owe it to their families and loved ones to fight this terrible virus until the end. We owe it to them to leave nothing on the table, and today we're throwing everything we've got at our long-term care homes. We're mobilizing every available resource. We will stop at nothing to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Today, we're launching an all-out plan to fight COVID-19 in our long-term care homes. We will fortify the iron ring of protection around our long-term care residents and those who care for them. We'll go further in our testing, screening, surveillance, targeting the homes facing outbreaks. We will ensure the staff at these homes have the tools they need. That means strengthening protocols, training, and education on infection prevention and control. And it means ensuring priority distribution of personal protective equipment. We're getting PPE to long-term care homes in need within 24 hours or less. We'll put more boots on the ground. We're putting together COVID-19 SWAT teams drawn from our hospitals, home care, and public health care units to help homes manage outbreaks. And finally, we're focusing on prevention and preparing the long-term care homes with no outbreaks with a plan on what to do in the event of an outbreak. This plan builds on the work we've done to date. Emergency funding for hiring more staff, restricting non-essential visitors, 24/7 screening of staff and residents, and stepping up cleaning measures. And last night, we passed an emergency order to ensure every employee in long-term care homes can only work in one home, which will help protect residents and reduce the risk of potential exposure to the virus. We'll continue to use every tool. We will spare no expense to protect residents and staff and keep them safe and healthy. And to every worker in every long-term care home across this province, thank you. You're the heroes in this crisis. Whether it's cleaning or cooking, performing medical exams or giving medication, holding mom's hand, or setting up dad's iPad so he can talk to the kids. You're there. To call you an essential worker is an understatement. You are the caregivers and protectors of our most vulnerable. I want you to know this government has your back. Thank you for all that you do. Finally, before I finish, I want to give a special shout out to my friend Flavio Volpe. Flavio has gotten together with the folks at Mitchell Plastics. They're manufacturing 400,000 made in Ontario face shields for hardworking frontline staff at long-term care homes. This is just another incredible example of the true Ontario spirit. Thank you so much. Flavio and everyone at Mitchell Plastics, you are absolute champions. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. Now I'd like to invite Minister Fullerton.
We are in extraordinary times. COVID-19 continues to spread, the likes of which we have never seen. And my heart goes out to everyone who has been affected by this virus in our long-term care homes. And I want a special mention of our personal support workers who are dedicated and compassionate day in, day out. I cannot thank them enough. And there are really no words that I can say to provide comfort, but please accept my sincerest condolences and know my heart goes out to everyone who's been affected by this virus. Thank you to all our caregivers that are working non-stop on the front lines to provide care to our loved ones. You are true heroes. Our government is steadfast in our commitment to fight this horrible virus with everything we've got. And as the Premier said, we will spare no expense to keep our most vulnerable residents safe. We have acted swiftly and decisively. Despite our efforts, this virus continues to spread and damage the lives of so many. Our government is working around the clock to identify every tool possible that we can use to stop the spread of this virus and keep people safe, especially residents in long-term care and their caregivers. Today, we are happy to launch Ontario's COVID-19 Action Plan for Long-Term Care Homes. And over the next 48 hours, we will be launching more aggressive testing, screening, and surveillance by screening all symptomatic staff and residents, as well as asymptomatic contacts of confirmed cases. We will be enhancing testing in all homes with a targeted plan for homes in outbreak, and testing of asymptomatic residents and staff in select homes across the province to help inform understanding of spread in long-term care homes. We will be managing outbreaks and spread of the disease through a new emergency order that was issued last night, limiting work sites for all workers in long-term care. We are working with public health units to assess risk for all homes, which is already underway as we speak. And we are actioning additional supports, including infection prevention and control, coming from the health sector, and we will establish rapid deployment teams through local hospitals to long-term care homes. We will be growing our heroic long-term care workforce by deploying hospital and home care resources into homes when needed. And we are also utilizing Ontario's job matching portal, as well as the federal HR portal, to identify available resources for over 190 homes that have submitted requests for staff. Every option is on the table, and additional measures will be taken as we address this fast-changing outbreak. Our government is working collaboratively with Public Health Ontario to identify options to help older homes with better isolation measures. And this could include movement of patients to other facilities to improve isolation capacity. Again, we will continue fighting this virus with everything we've got, and we will continue fighting to keep you, your loved ones, and our healthcare heroes safe. Thank you.
We'll go to the phone line for questions. First question.
First question comes from Mike Crawley at CBC News. Please go ahead.
Premier, can you explain why the government stopped doing comprehensive inspections of long-term care homes in Ontario last year? And I'd ask you to make sure that you please talk about the comprehensive annual inspections, not inspections in response to complaints, but we've learned through CBC's investigation that all but a handful of the 600 and something long-term care homes did not receive a comprehensive annual inspection last year. What's your explanation for why this happened?
Well, it's better answered by one of my ministers here.
Thank you for the question. We moved to a risk-based inspection process, really to make sure that the homes that were at highest risk were getting the attention that they needed. We also maintained inspections on a yearly basis for all homes. So the move was to a risk-based method, which we believed would help identify and support those homes in greatest need. Thank you.
Well, if I could follow up, is there any explanation as to why only 9 homes of the 630 homes actually deserved that full inspection? You didn't think that the risks existed at the other 620 homes? And can you tell people that there is no way that that reduction in inspections contributed to what we're seeing in the long-term care homes today?
Well, looking globally, the long-term care homes are on the front lines. All across the world, it is the long-term care homes that are being severely affected by this. So the approach with the risk-based approach for long-term care inspections was in addition to annual inspections that go on through all of the 626 long-term care homes. And in addition, there's an action line for anyone who's concerned about anything in the home that they find worrisome. So we act on all those, and we act swiftly. This is a global situation across the world in terms of the effect in long-term care homes.
Next question.
Next question comes from Christina Tenaglia from CP24. Please go ahead.
Hi, Premier. Hi, Doctor and Minister. Premier, the announcement today, of course, doesn't include group homes like Participation House in Markham, where as of yesterday, 37 of the 42 residents there tested positive for COVID-19. We just learned that one of those residents has died. Of course, this is a home that houses some of our community's most vulnerable adults with physical and developmental disabilities. What is the government going to do for group homes because they are excluded from this announcement today?
Yeah, that's a very, very good question. I've been on the phone constantly with Minister Smith and MPP Paul Calandra, and also I've talked to Mayor Scarpitti out in Markham. Those are one of the highest priorities. Our announcement today right now is about long-term care homes. That doesn't mean that we aren't going to put the resources into other areas and other ministries. We are. That's going to be one of the highest priorities. And over the next day or so, you'll hear the rollout from Minister Smith. But it's extremely important. My heart breaks for these people. Almost everyone in that home has contacted COVID, and it's heartbreaking. Going back to the frontline people there, I want to thank them. The people that stayed there, and there was less than a handful. And I just want to thank them for staying at their post and trying to run the whole home by themselves. We have resources in there right now.
Thank you, Premier. I know a lot of the questions today will be about long-term care homes. I've been waiting to ask about this, about small businesses here in the province. Tomorrow, landlords can start evicting and taking back commercial property from any tenant who hasn't paid April rent. I know Minister Phillips is not there today, but we continue to hear from a lot of small business owners who feel that their immediate needs aren't met by any provincial initiatives or federal initiatives, including the CERB. Can we anticipate an announcement that will directly meet their needs, especially on the rent the rent front specifically, something the opposition has been calling for?
Well, Minister Phillips has been working on this with the federal government as well. You have to realize there's 1.2 million leases just here in Ontario. And we need the support of the federal government if we're going to look at this. I encourage the landlords and the tenants when it comes to commercial leases, try to sit down, work it out. I know there's a small business loan, I believe it's $40,000 from the federal government that they can utilize as well to pay rent over the next couple months until we get back on track here. But there's a little bit of money there from the federal government. But again, I know Minister Phillips, that's top of mind for him, and he's going to be working with the federal government to see how we can support the small businesses.
Next question.
Next question comes from Allison Jones at the Canadian Press. Please go ahead.
Hi, Premier. On your emergency order limiting staff to working at just one long-term care home, is that going to be just for the duration of the pandemic, or is this going to be a permanent thing?
Well, I'll pass this over to the Minister of Long-Term Care.
Thank you. So that emergency order is for 14 days. We have been very cognizant and aware of the staffing shortages and the critical staffing issues in long-term care homes. And so weeks ago, the Chief Medical Officer of Health strongly recommended that all homes consider how they could potentially reduce the number of work sites that their employees are at. So this started weeks ago. This emergency order now is to really define this and make it definitive that it's only one long-term care home for employees. If they work at additional homes, they will be allowed to take a leave of absence. So this is a temporary measure.
Are you giving any consideration to making it permanent? This is obviously something that has been an issue for a long time, predating this pandemic.
Yes, and that's a really important point. When we became a dedicated ministry for long-term care, we knew that the shortages of personal support workers in our long-term care home was an issue, and we had begun to look into that and create measures that would address that. Unfortunately, the pandemic has arrived before that work was completed, but that will be ongoing. Thank you.
Next question.
Next question comes from Laura Stone from the Globe and Mail. Please go ahead.
Hi, Minister. Just to follow up on Allison's question regarding part-time workers, can you explain the scope of this? How many people working in long-term care during this crisis were actually working in multiple homes, and how will their wages and benefits be topped up by the provincial government if they are having to choose now just one part-time job?
Mm-hmm. So they will be able to, if they work at more than one home, they will be able to take a leave of absence from the other locations of work until this is sorted out in 14 days. So this is a temporary measure to allow for a reduction of the spread of COVID-19, and which is becoming increasingly apparent that it is asymptomatic. So we'll be working with the federal government through the efforts that are already underway to address the wage situation and the compensation.
And Mr. Premier, you talk about this action plan as being a preventative measure. You talk about moving swiftly. I think there are a lot of people in this province who have family members in long-term care who begged homes to do more and have watched people die because additional measures have not been taken. So why has Ontario taken so long to implement an action plan 2 weeks after the Bobcaygeon incident? And what do you tell those families who are looking now and thinking that their loved ones could have been saved earlier?
Well, first of all, my heart breaks for these families. I'm facing it in my own family, and there's endless amount of people that are facing the pain out there, that their loved ones are in these long-term care homes and they don't get access to them, and they can't go see them, and they can't help them and feed them, and It's heartbreaking. But this wasn't just the first thing that we've done, and I'll pass it over. This is an enhancement of what we have already done, and we've done quite a bit right from the get-go. But I'll pass it back to the minister, and this is just an enhancement. By no means is this the first thing that we have done. We've done a tremendous amount, but again, my focus is on these poor families that can't see their loved ones, and not all, but majority of people, elderly folks in these homes, they've gone through so much in their lives. They've gone through, wars and so many ups and downs in their lives, and to lose their life over a virus like this, it's heart-wrenching. I can assure you, and I can assure the people out there, I hear it every single day from my home. I hear it every single day from my family, from my wife, and my heart breaks for the families out there. It's absolutely terrible what people and the families are going through right now for their loved ones, and not being able to see their mom, their dad, their grandparents. It's terrible. I'll pass it over to the minister.
So this is an unprecedented tragedy, and we acted swiftly months ago to make sure that there was proper screening, active screening, barring only essential visitors into the homes. And as mentioned, it was a hardship for many families, and we heard about the loneliness and the concern surrounding that. But it was a decision that we did not take lightly. We took it extremely seriously. It needed to be done. And that was the recommendation through the Chief Medical Officer of Health. And we've been following the advice from the Chief Medical Officer of Health, our medical and scientific experts who are informed on the evolving science and evidence behind COVID-19. So we've been actively taking measures this whole way through, putting dollars behind it so our homes could have better infection protocols and measures, as well as making sure that their staffing was shored up. So this is something that we've been actively on, and also recommending the work of personal support workers in only one setting. And now we are moving and taking additional measures. So we are fighting with every single tool that we have, and we're creating new tools because the old tools are not enough. This is a new virus, a virus that the world has not been seen before. And so we have to take new measures, and that's exactly what we're doing today. More testing, more management of outbreak, more additions to help shore up the staffing. And we'll take additional measures if needed. And we're taking the advice and following the advice of our Chief Medical Officer of Health and the science and evidence behind COVID-19.
Next question.
Next question comes from Haley Cooper.
Welcome back. That was the Premier speaking. I love how he stands like this.
Oh, I know. Like,
he's so cool.
I'd love to just run into him to see what would happen,
Well, we are going to run into Chris right as soon as we get back from these commercial messages. See you shortly. Welcome back. I'm going to throw it straight over to Chris for an update.
Thank you very much. First off, I want to promote my own show tonight. I interviewed Dr. Jennifer Liu of Algoma Public Health earlier today. So tonight I have a 30-minute interview with her at 7 p.m. You can also see it again at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Tomorrow night I'm going to be doing a special on Algoma Public Health and their communications problems. That'll be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. I also just interviewed the mayor of Elliott Lake, and he will be on the show. The interview will air in full on Friday night, and it'll also be another half-hour special. We just got the numbers for Algoma Public Health for our region, and right now we have now tested 977 people. Luckily, we still have only 10 positives, and I talked with Dr. Liu about why that number is so low, so watch that tonight at 7. We're also waiting for 165 tests to come back that we don't know the results of yet. Now, the Canadian economy has taken a massive hit. There's no denying it. When you don't have people going outside and spending money by going into all the different stores and so on, it's just bound to happen. The numbers for March for the economy, it plunged 9%, and April is going to be worse because we had more stricter stuff in place since about the middle of March. So April's going to be much worse for those numbers. However, what we do know is our GDP declined by 2.6% for January to March. That is the steepest decline since 1961. So here's where we're seeing the biggest hits: travel and tourism, restaurants, accommodation, and retailing. Just to give you an example, yesterday in the States, only 90,000 people went through the security in the airports, the TSA. 1 year ago, that same number was 2.2 million on the exact same day. Now I'm going to send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Chris. That was an interesting update. Hey, Danny, did you know that we have 78,000 viewers at Sioux Online?
What?
Yeah, it has tripled.
That's
so
awesome.
Going back to the Algoma Marketplace that we've just launched recently, like 78,000 viewers in the city.
Come on,
right?
people,
I mean,
right there.
It's a free service. It is free to.
And look at that. There's bottles of wine right there.
There's bottles of wine. There's bottles of wine.
You get your potatoes. What else we got there? Some meat. Like, there's so much on there right now.
Pizza deals with Little Caesars.
They do the daily deals too, which is super cool. And everyone knows when on Facebook, you're on Marketplace there. But now is the time to have the Marketplace locally, right?
Yeah.
So it's a free service. Free service. So we really want you guys to get involved. We want to keep your businesses alive and strong during this time. So please contact everybody, us at Superior Media. There is an email address that we will pop up. It is Algoma Marketplace, yes, at SiouxOnline.com. So contact us here. We will get you set, and we have all the technical support too to help you out.
Yeah, I mean, one local person or restaurant owner who's actually involved in it too is Angela Caputo from The Breakfast Pig, and I'm not sure if the community's really had a chance to see what she does, but phenomenal. She's teamed up with John Howard Society, and they've created the Feed the Kids project. Mm-hmm. So she's been donating lunches and meals to people in geared to income homes for students.
Awesome. Way to go, Angela.
So far, so within the launch of the first few days, they've already had $7,000 worth of donations to the community.
That's awesome.
And so far right now, they've had 200 meals go out, and I think that's what their daily rate is going to be, and it's phenomenal.
Great.
And again, on the Marketplace, you can go ahead and you can scroll down in our vendors and you'll see Breakfast Pig right there.
And it's Algoma Marketplace at SiouxOnline.com. I apologize if I didn't get that out there clear to you. Again, it's shop.siouxonline.com, and we were supporting local to shop local. And like you said, there's Little Caesars on there, and they've been awesome too. My son works there, so yay, Little Caesars, way to go.
Good.
And hello, Giovanni's, Fratelli's, Burger Don. You can't go wrong with those.
No, and we're going to keep... And we're just trying to push it out to the community right now that, you know what, we are here. We're here to help. If there's anything that we can help you do, let us know. And introducing the Marketplace, the concept too, is just, we're all coming together.
Absolutely.
Again, in this together, SSM. We all gotta stick together.
And if you need to email us, it's a special report, ssm@gmail.com. And now that's the end of today's show. That was painless, right?
Yeah.
And we were super funny today. So we'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. with lots of updates.
Oh, and Friday, our big announcement, Pajama Day!
Pajama Day on Friday. And happy birthday to Brayden. I love you, Brayden. Have a great night.
See ya.